Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello dear friends, this is Nasibullah Sami once again. In this tutorial we are going to discuss about how to search a record and display the search record on the controls. From the controls I mean text boxes, control like radio buttons and combo box and other things. First of all we will make a place for another text box and date time picker in order to complete our task. I will just copy these two and put it over here. I will give a proper name to it, designer name, sorry, not designer name, like ID, and after this we will just give a designer name for this text box in order to access this in our code, txt id. And after putting these we will just go here, copy this label and we'll give a proper name to it, like registration registration date. And after this we are going to drag and drop a date time picker from the control box. For the better design we will make a custom format for this, format long no custom. After selecting this as a custom, here we have another property, custom format, like dd slash mmm slash yyyy, and this format it should be displayed with us. So I will copy this button and paste it over here. This time we will do search. Actually we didn't had any picture for the search icon for the search in our this folder. If you remember, we have put it these in our folder, in project folder. I have downloaded the new one. It doesn't matter that if the colors doesn't match these and if the format doesn't match these, so you can make these things in Photoshop as well. So here we have to focus on our programming. So this was our design that we made. Now so after this we are going to our general class, yani my queries class. And my queries class I'm creating a new function in order to for selecting and the records from the database. For this case we are going to create a public function. This time, as a function has its return type, when the function is called and somewhere the function may or may not return some value. For this case, if it's void, so it will not return any value. If it is another type, then it will definitely return a value. You may have seen that a function return integers, string or other types, but in this case we are using data table. Data table is a built-in class in C# with us, which is used for containing data as a table for the as a format of the table. For example, we are going to name it my table. This is the function name. Now we will give a parameter, string type parameter to it in order to pass our query when we are calling our function. So after this we are opening connection with database. My commands dot command text is equal to query. If you have problem with these things, you have to watch the previous videos, because in previous videos we have explained these things quite very well, and you can solve all your questions and your problems in the first and second video. So after this when we assigned our query to SQL commands class object. So we are creating a data table class object like my table data table dt is equal to new data table. After this we are going to create SQL data adapter. My adapter is equal to new SQL data adapter, and the constructor of the SQL data adapter we are passing this my commands, cause the query which is assigned through command context property to this object. This object now contains the query. After executing this query, this my adapter will have data with itself. So when data comes to it, so my adapter have the data from my adapter fill my data table, which is the object of data table class. This. After this, close the connection with database, and wherever the function is called, return this dt. Now it will have data as well. Return this data table whenever the function is called. So we are going to like clicking on the search button. Here we will create the object for this my queries class. Important classes dot my queries object my queries class. So after this we will create a data table class object as well, like dt equals to new data table class. dt equals to obj dot my table function, which accepts string as a parameter. In this we will write our query select static from. We will write our query select static from. The name of our table is register table, table. Register table, select static from reg table, where r underscore id. R underscore is the primary key. We will search it by this by id is equal to which txt id dot text. Select static from reg underscore table, where r underscore id is equal to this id. So we passed our query as a string to the function. This function is now called. So we will come here to my queries class. The query is come to this variable. Now connection will be opened with the database. The query will be assigned to my commands class, and after this we created the object of a data table class, and after that the my commands, which is the object of SQL command class, have the query. The query is being executed, and after that assigning the data to my adapter class, and after that the data is with my adapter class. From adapter fill this data table which is there. So after filling the data table, close the connection with the database, and as the return type for this type of this function is data table, return this table to the calling function. So we have called this function here. Now this data is returned by this function, and it's assigned to this table. Actually this is a simple class, but this is a form. We are accessing this and outside that class. So there now it will have data. We will like make a condition. For example, if a user enter a valid ID, so it should display the data to the mm, user. If there is no data related to that ID, then display invalid entry. If dt dot rows dot count greater than 0 means if there is a record in our database, then do this, else do this. If there is no record in the database, message box should be displayed. Message box dot show invalid ID. If there is ID, then display the selected record in these text boxes in these controls. So first of all, txt name dot text is equal to dt. Actually dt holds the data now. dt dot rows of 0 colon of like name dot to string. This name is the field of our table, and after this we are going to txt if name dot text is equal to dt dot rows of 0 of if name. And after this we will see what we have, age and two other things. We will just copy these lines of codes and display it in order to not waste our time. txt age txt nic, this is age, so age nic, age nic. That's fine. Then after this we have the gender. For the gender we need to like create a string variable like gender and assign the gender value. Gender variable is equal to dt dot rows of 0 colon of gender dot to string, like here gender. Yes. Now if you remember, the gender variable now have a string value. We will match. If it is male, then select the male radio button. If it is female, then select this one. If gender is equal to male, if the value of this variable is equal to male, then radio male should be checked. Radio male dot checked is equal to true, else radio female dot checked is equal to true. That's fine for gender as well. Now after this, by sequence we are going to, now we have gender, position. For position we have combo box cmb post dot text is equal to dt dot rows of 0 colon of what is the colon name? Position dot to string. And after this we have date. So for displaying date on the date time picker, we will use another class date time, vdate is equal to new date time, and after this we will assign vdate is equal to, we have to explicitly convert this, convert that to date time, which value, which is coming from dt dot rows of 0 colon of date. So after this, the name of this date time picker, we didn't set a proper name to it. We will set a proper name to it in order to access it in our code. Date dot value is equal to v underscore date. So that's it. We will check for our code, does it work or not. We will see it. For example, we will see 4 records here. Which records do we have? So we have 1 and 2 record with us. We will search for 2. If there is no problem, maybe there is a problem. So incorrect syntax near to this static, so we will check it. Maybe we have a problem in our query. Select C, we have missed the C here. Select, we will save this and continue it. We will select 2. Here it is. Number 2 is Shakira John. This she is female and she is cleaner. We will check these records in database as well. Female cleaner, and it was registered on 26 of 5. The same record, if you remember, we have inserted in. So this was the tutorial for this day. We will search for the second one as well. This is Ahmad Ali. So this was a tutorial about how to how to search records and display the search record on controls. So hope you would like it. If you didn't subscribe to our channel, please like, subscribe and share our channel with your friends. Have a good day. Thank you for all the support.